a long time since I did a live video, so it's good to be back. I was meeting with a friend this weekend. Come on in, honey. I want them to see the detail on this. I met with a friend this weekend who I hadn't seen in quite some time, and he says, "Oh man, Bob, I miss your live videos." And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Why not?" So I'm doing my absolute favorite part of the painting. Like all the tough stuff is done. Everything's been figured out, and now this is kind of like just the icing on the cake. So I have the house done, and in my reference there's more debris, and I was gonna leave it out, and there's more writing on it. It's obviously an abandoned house, and it didn't look gnarly enough. So I'm going in there and putting in, you know, the signage that was attached to the side of this house, and other kind of stuff that's happening. I'm really, really happy with this painting. This is one of those paintings that it's almost like there was like wings on my brushes. I mean, when I started this, I was like, how in the world am I going to pull off all of this or corn, it looks like, whatever it was. There was a harvest here many seasons ago, and I had no idea how I was going to pull all that off. And I just went in with the attitude, but, don't try any shortcuts. Don't try some, brush technique that's going to kind of look like, a harvest that didn't come to fruition. And so actually that's exactly what happened. What I was trying to avoid happened. I came in with a big brush, made some texture with my paint, and then came in with a palette knife and just started putting these in individually. Then a bigger brush. I think I have it over here. I took this brush and just barely dipped it in the paint and started lightly going over all this area and getting this texture in. You can see some of them are brush strokes. These are brush strokes here, and then the straight ones going up and down. That's my that was my palette knife where I put paint on. Actually, I can show you one right here. Kind of need some here. Just kind of doing that very lightly, and I like that they get broken. It's not like a brush stroke that is kind of consistent and smooth, but this really adds to that broken hay, corn kind of thing.
This is the favorite part, right here.
Yeah, I like that too.
You can see the trees in the back. But...
I think I'm going to call this this space between us, and you just sealed it for me, honey, by saying that, because I like that there's that space there, and it's kind of indicative of the loneliness and the transparency of this house. Does anyone think about it? People probably drive by this hundreds of times a day, and they just don't pay it any mind, and subject matter like that always touches my heart. Okay, I'm doing a lot of talking and no painting.
This is
so
cute too. That little sign.
Yeah, I like that little stuff. And so, a lot of people say, "Oh, Bob, your work looks photographic," and they're usually saying that because they're looking at it on their phone. But this is one where you can really see, brush strokes and texture, palette knife texture, especially in the roof here. This was all done with a palette knife. I would take some, a gray value like this and just scrape it on there, and then, scrape it off, and then I don't like that there, so I'm going to go back to what it was and come back in with the white, and there you go. Now you have some texture there. But my goal is never to have it look like a painting. Look like a photo. Sometimes it's hard to paint and talk at the same time. So I'm going to let that dry. I like the texture that came there. I'm going to put another little sign here. That's in my reference. It was like a vote for Governor so-and-so. I don't know if that's really a great endorsement to have his, signage on an abandoned house. I don't know what that's saying about his administration. But, so I'm really excited about this piece. It's going to be in my East Hampton show, unless someone purchases it before then. I'm having a hard time talking and painting today. But this is this was one of those paintings, like I said earlier, that was just super smooth from beginning to end. And that almost never happens. So this is a piece of paper, so it's not going to cast too much of a shadow. So I'm just going to put a touch of a tiny shadow right next to it, right just on this side. Just there, just to give it a little lift off the house. And the light is so harsh on this, so there wouldn't be any shadow on this side, not on a thin piece of paper. And I'm not going to go in here and noodle out all the verbiage on this sign. I'm just going to make some textures so it feels like signage. I'm going to make this dry a little faster with my blow dryer. That should do it. And just make it look like a sign. That red might be a little too heavy, a little too intense. And I think that's all too intense. But what's cool with acrylics is once that dries, I can go over this whole thing with a thin layer of white. See, that's what confuses me when people say, "Oh, Bob, it looks like a photo." And then look how I made that sign. Just making marks and not any letters whatsoever. But our brain fills in those missing pieces. And that looks a little bit like a flag, and that is definitely not what I'm going for. So I'll put a little red over here and down here. Now, I don't know what that top one is to the left. I think it is a flag actually, but it looks like there's a cross in the middle. And I like crosses. So I'm going to keep that in there, and I'm not going to keep it that red because that looks like blood. So I'm going to do that. And then there's all sorts of wacky stuff going on in there. All kinds of crazy textures on the bottom. So again, I'm just going to use my palette knife. Get that in there. And that. Not sure if I like that, but I can always go over it again. And there's some blue on the top too. So, I'm not sure if that's a flag. Is that a flag, honey? Yeah. Can you tell in the reference it's a flag? Okay. Pretty beat up looking flag, right? I don't know why it would have that. Maybe it's a cross on a flag. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my reference as I'm saying that to you guys. I think it's a flag with a cross on it and two kneeling soldiers in the corners. So it might be like a tribute to our fallen warriors, fallen soldiers. So this could be a flag, maybe not. I'll leave that up to the viewer. What do you think, honey? Think that's a good idea? So, yeah, wrapping this up. I hope you guys can make it to my show. It's my first show in East Hampton. Super, super excited. My wife is coming with me. She's excited too. And we're gonna meet some new collectors. Hopefully some older ones will come out. And if it's even half as successful as my Philadelphia show, I will be really, really happy. So, I think I'm done, honey. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was great.
Yeah, I mean, there's some little stuff. I'm going to clean this edge up. I wanted it to break up just a little bit. I didn't want it to be too hard because it just wouldn't make sense to have that hard of an edge against the sky here. So I broke it up a little bit. Same with over here. I wanted some broken edges again to get away from that photographic look. So I kind of did that all around the house. Out on the roof, down here into the tree line.
I like the gray here too. I like the gray right here.
Oh yeah, that's
because it looks like it's chipped.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this. I have a feeling this one is going to win a bunch of awards, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to enter this into some competitions. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. I answer all of them myself. And hopefully I'll see you at the show. Take care.